I'm calling the Common Council meeting of October 21st, 2013 to order. Invocation, Mr. Campbell.
Gracious God, we thank you for this day. We thank you, God, how you continue to bless us and keep us. We thank you for this council. Continue to bless them and keep them. Give them the strength they need and order their steps in all that they do. Bless their families and keep them safe. Gracious God, we ask you to continue to be with our city, be with all our leaders. We ask you to bless our mayor, all the staff, all the persons who work for the city, all of our first responders. I ask you, God, continue to be with our community and continue to help us to be what you would have us to be. We ask you, Lord, to continue to watch over those communities that are having the tragedies. We pray for that community today that someone comes into school to also to cause harm to our children. Lord, we don't understand it. We don't understand why those things go on, but we ask you, please protect our community, protect all of our kids. Continue to watch over and be with those teachers and all those who try to do things to help us to have a better community. We ask you to continue to bless this meeting and ask us all to help us to get along and be what you would have us to be. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Councilperson Smith.
Present.
Councilperson Zastopny.
Present.
Councilperson Kane.
Here.
Councilperson Gill.
Here.
Council President Sellers.
Here.
Council Vice President Julius.
Here.
Councilperson Owen.
Here.
Councilperson Samuel.
Here.
Let the record reflect, we have 8 council members here. Councilperson Glover is absent.
Approval of the agenda. I would like to remove under new business number 5, the marina, per the request of Mr. Merkley.
4 and 5.
4 and 5?
Yeah.
Okay, 4 and 5. Sorry.
And I'd like to take off under new business number 1A, pedestrian safety at Duffy's Landing.
Okay.
Motion to approve with changes.
Second.
Have a motion and second to approve the changes with the agenda. Any further questions, comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Minutes to be approved.
In your packet, you have the first set of minutes is from the proceeding from October the 7th.
Motion to approve. Second.
Have a motion and second to approve the minutes from October 7th, 2013. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Then also in your packet, you have a copy of the minutes from the council workshop on October 10th.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Have a motion and second to approve the minutes from the council workshop on October 10th, 2013. Any other questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Claims to be approved.
I do have one hand-carried claim. It was pulled from the last meeting. It was for Sullivan University for $5,187.64.
Yes, and just let me clarify that. That's for Matt Dyer for his certificates that he needs for his computer classes, so we got clarification on that, so should be fine.
Okay. That brings the total requested to $2,024,858.65.
I had a question, but let me get there because I'm behind, okay?
Okay.
Could you repeat that just one more?
Yes. $2,024,858.65.
Okay. I just have a question because this is the new system,
Yes.
right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. On the very back page, you have the fund totals.
Correct.
Are those the That's the amount out of each fund that was used?
That's correct.
Okay, so when you've got Parks and Recreation, are we also taking that out of our parks funds?
Yes.
Out of our parks budget? And we're taking it out of this?
No.
Because the total is the same at the bottom. It says total for all funds, $2,019,671.
Right. That's a separate
What do you think of
register.
that?
The parks ones are not inclusive of what's here.
Okay.
They enter some of their own claims, which are on the second packet. These are
Okay.
entered by accounts payable and finance.
Okay, just checking. I was just checking.
Oh, this one doesn't, right?
But we're not double billing.
No.
No, I was just trying to make sure.
Amy, I had a couple questions. One is just because this is new, it appears that in the second column, it's titled invoice line description.
Yes.
In many of those down, like if you go down under the police, for example, it's the exact same description as under the invoice description.
Right.
Is there a way to put the fund line description there as the second column?
Possibly. I mean, we're still tweaking the reporting, so that might be something we can do. The fund is listed, above each section, but we might be able to add it as a column as well.
Yeah, because it just seems, for the most part, redundant,
Right.
if you know what I'm saying.
What I've asked is for the vendor to move over to the left and make that descriptor a longer field.
Okay.
Sometimes there's confusion when there's only so many characters that can be on the report.
Okay. And thank you. I had two more questions. On page 9, under Lloyd, install 8 phone lines for telestaff,
Yes.
and it's under software and hardware. Do you know what that is?
That's for the timekeeping system for police and fire.
Okay.
They had to install new phone lines for the servers for those to work properly.
Okay. And then one below that, the transfer for cash flow from economic development from edit.
Yes, that was due to a cash shortage in Fund 209, which is the parks non-reverting funds.
Okay.
So we're transferring some funds from edit to help cover.
Why was there a shortage?
Just there wasn't enough revenue to support some of the expenditures that have been made this year.
Right. So,
Something we need to talk
I
about.
think, never mind.
We've done it every year. Unfortunately, we've done it every year.
Well, I think we would have budgeted more, but we probably anticipated him bringing in a little more revenue,
That's true.
and that continually doesn't happen.
That is true.
Should this be the last request for that, Amy, to finish up the year, or do you know?
I can't say for
Okay.
certain that it will be, but I know we are looking at that, and there's still the fall sports and the ice rink upcoming, so we're hopeful it'll be enough, but I can't guarantee.
Do I have a motion to approve?
We had, the last meeting, we had left out some of the things under the mayor's for the donation for a batting class, $500, tennis team, $900.
I've got all those. If anyone wants to see them, they're perfectly fine. I
Okay.
printed them off, because, thank you for sending those to us. Mr. Merkley sent those to us today. Wait, not all that stuff might be it. Let's see what I'm, yeah. There you go.
The ads are fine, but what about well, I wasn't here, but the donation for batting cages, was that?
I don't know, I think that's,
It says batting class, so I don't know if that's
well, actually, is there a letter in there? I have a letter from them. I copied. Oh, it's, Jeffersonville High School baseball boosters have been raising funds for the completion, upkeep, and equipment for a new hitting facility. Please consider making a $500 donation to the Jeffersonville High School baseball boosters. That's what that was for. But the issue that I have with this, and this is why I asked Mr. Lewis to work on this, is because we now have other schools coming up asking different council members for different things. When we first started on the council, those of us who were around in 2004, we were giving money away to various groups up to close to $100,000 annually, and we finally said, we cannot do this anymore. And now I think we're kind of getting into that same position with this fund. So that's why we're working on an ordinance to try to tailor what that money should go for. So,
Yeah, to me, I think if this is something that we don't want tax dollars to go for, we need to lay that out and just let them know in advance so they're aware of that. And then we can address it, but it's already been committed and, so
Well,
that's
we
how
pretty much committed this, but I'm hoping in the future, when Scott gets the ordinance, that'll give us some time to address it, but I don't know if tax dollars should be going toward this.
Make a motion to approve.
have a motion and a second to approve
I'm abstaining.
the accounts payable vouchers, and I hope I wrote down the amount correctly, $2,024,671 and only 1 penny.
$858.65.
Okay. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed, motion carries.
We also have park claims for $52,273.40.
That's different. Come on now. Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve the parks claim in the amount of $52,273.40. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Report of the clerk.
Hold on a second. Thing wants to work and it wants to work. Okay. All right. Just a quick thing, I just wanted to reflect in the minutes that you all had signed earlier. I'd passed it out. The nepotism statement, just so it would be in the record that the council, I'll get councilperson Glover's signature, but according to state statute, we have to do that every year by the end of the year. So I'll make copies of them tomorrow and make sure that the mayor's office has the copies.
All right. Department head reports. Mr. Crouch, update on the sidewalk master plan.
Thank you. See if I can get this to work. Hey. Last year, the council, you guys asked me to put together a short list. I think we called it a low-hanging fruit list of sidewalk projects in the city. I've listed those out here. This is basically the same thing you saw last year. Those 6 projects were Maple Street, Howard Avenue, 8th and Main, the corner of 8th and Main, Harrison Avenue, Riddle Street, and Court Avenue at Watt Street on the southeast corner. Councilman Samuel asked me to come give an update on where we are on that, and that's why I'm here tonight. Working through those, we have completed the Maple Street. This is looking toward Maple Elementary on the north side of Maple. And this is the south side of Maple, again looking toward Maple Elementary. We completely took out all of the sidewalks that were there. They were broken up and crumbled and replaced all of them. This is at 8th and Main. This is Main Street looking south. And this would be 8th Street looking back to the west. And you can see the Legion Lodge there to the right. On Harrison Avenue, we added sidewalks along the corridor along the north side of Harrison. This is looking back away from Hamburg Pike toward the railroad tracks in the back. That's the intersection there of Harrison and National, looking to the west. And we extended, from what we had originally told you, we extended a little more sidewalk than what we had originally planned on toward the west. We had some additional funds in that allotment for the budget. And the reason we had some of those funds is because of what you see here. This is the DaVita dialysis going in at the corner of Harrison and Hamburg Pike. So we had where DaVita dialysis is going to be putting in sidewalks all along their frontage. We had some requests from some of the residents on toward the west on Harrison to extend the sidewalk on past them. So it was about a half a block. We did that, and we've still come out under budget on Harrison Avenue. And you should be seeing, this was taken just last Friday, so you should see sidewalks extending all the way to Hamburg Pike by the time DaVita dialysis is complete. On Riddle Street, we've replaced some sidewalk there. And we've also added some sidewalk next to the road. If you go, this is the north side of Riddle. If you go to the south side, there's sidewalk that goes on farther to the east. So we've completed that as well. At Court Avenue and Watt, we tore out a lot of broken sidewalk and replaced that. It looks really nice. They've got some planters and things there along the frontage. On Howard Avenue, we've had some issues. This wasn't as low of hanging fruit as we had originally thought. We've got what you see there on the right-hand side of the pavement are some wooden posts and bollards. We've got some on-street parking that they use quite a bit. If you go on toward 8th Street, you can see the slopes on both sides of the road are fairly steep for sidewalk, and even if we could fix that with a wall, we've still got some steps and stairs that are coming from the residences down to the road. We aren't done there. We've still got some ideas and plans for completing that, but it hasn't been done yet. We've put that off till the very end. Again, this is the east side of Howard Avenue looking back toward 10th Street, and we had the same issue. We've looked at both sides of the road, and we're just going to have to tackle something there and get with the residents on what will work best for them. We have completed a little bit of work on Howard Avenue. That's the entrance that you see at the bottom of the screen is going into Bob Hedge Park. There's a little alley there, and this is a sidewalk that we were able to complete headed toward 8th Street. The original budget that we had put together for this was $220,000. We were able to complete all of these except for Howard Avenue at under $100,000. Of course, we're going to still have some outlay of cash, and we may exceed. I think we had a $35,000 budget for Howard Avenue. We may exceed that a little bit, considering we have to put in some walls. There's a tree that we may have to take out, so we may go over a little bit on that, but we should stay well under the original budget on those.
Deal.
Good deal.
We've got some pending projects coming up. As I've said, we've got to complete the Howard Avenue improvements, and we've also got Vissing Park Drive improvements. We've got the construction plans for those complete. There are 2 properties that are going to require a sidewalk easement. I've got appraisals on both of those. I'm approaching the property owners to get those easements. We should be able to start on that hopefully in the spring when the weather breaks. Does anybody have any questions?
What's the proposed cost for the Vissing Park?
I think we have about $220,000 set aside for that. That's that's coming out of the sidewalk master plan, the original master plan that we came up with that was proposed by Jacoby Toombs and Lands.
One pretty substantial project, and Andy didn't mention it, was the sidewalks in Spring Street in front of the businesses. And I think most of you may be aware of, because of the trees and settlement, there's a lot of tripping hazards.
There are.
So there will be a meeting coming up. Do we make a date?
I think we do have a date. I don't have that with me.
I know they're going to put together.
Thursday.
They're putting together some preliminaries on that, and going to be meeting, I think, with some of the business owners downtown, the Spring Street business or downtown merchants, to talk about this proposal, what we're talking about doing, and get some input. So that's kind of in the infancy stages, but because of the amount of traffic that we are projected to have, we do have a lot of sidewalk work, and I think in the discussion, Andy had talked about by the time you start cutting and piecing all these sidewalks, it might be better to kind of start replacing versus piecing. So,
and you have seen other sidewalk projects that have been done outside of these projects. We're doing other projects with some sidewalk with the ADA money, the Americans with Disabilities Act, for transitioning to walkable sidewalks and for wheelchair and handicap access. So you're seeing some other projects done with that money as well.
So that's going to be a pretty big project.
I got 2 questions. One is Chestnut Street. Have we got a date on that yet?
I'm not managing that one, but I believe that should be done in the next 3 or 4 weeks. I know they're supposed to be done before the end of the year, but they have some delays due to some utility issues that weren't foreseen.
Okay. Other question I talked to you earlier, or last week, I guess, about Hamburg Pike.
Right.
And hopefully everybody's ridden Hamburg Pike. It's open finally. About 2 weeks after it opened up by TJ School, they cut 3 big holes in the asphalt. And I called Andy, and I think we ought to come up with some kind of ordinance. Miller Pipeline did it, I'm assuming, for a gas line.
Right.
And it's already sunk about that much where they've cut it. It's kind of a rough, there's 3 places in the road. And Andy and I have exchanged conversations and emails about Louisville ordinances, but, I think we need to come up with something. Our ordinance really doesn't hold their feet to the fire as far as, they go into a new road and they cut it, and there really is no repercussion for that ultimately.
Right.
And that's horrible. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just absolutely horrible. So the other problem that I'm having on Hamburg Pike is where the trucks are coming out of the quarry, their lime dust is going about 1,000 yards each way.
Right.
And, not only is it kind of making the road look bad, but at night, it's kind of a safety hazard. You cannot see any lines. And I've had some residents call complaining about that.
Okay.
We waited 3 years to get this road done. They pave it. That section of road looks like it's 10 years old already. So
I've talked with the general manager at the quarry, and as well as his kind of superintendent out there. We've all got each other's mobile phones and call each other fairly regularly when there's an issue. I don't always see the issue because I'm not always on Hamburg Pike every day. If you see a problem, let me know. I'll be glad to contact them. They've been very easy to work with. They've been helping us out quite a bit. The last time I called them, before they even said hello, they said, well, we know why you're calling. So they get it. They are managing to take care of it most of the time. They have some issues when we have a light rain. If it's a heavy rain, it washes everything away. They don't have any problems. If there's no rain, then it's not tracking.
Like when the road opened, we went about 10 days with no rain, and it was white.
Right. Okay. Well, if you'll let me know, or if you see it, let me know, and we'll try to do a better job of getting in touch with them.
Well, Andy, they have a big water truck.
They do.
Shouldn't they, in the morning or evening, I don't know when?
Dennis used them, you see them out there all.
I saw them one day, but they went right across the street and came right back. What they were doing is wetting down the road on, that quarry road. They were wetting it down. Now, the problem is because I watch them come out of that, the quarry fills up with water. They pump the water out. They load that aggregate that's wet on those trucks, and that water is perking through that gravel and running on the bed of the truck and then down on the road, and it's a problem.
They know it's a problem, and we'll have to stay on them.
They indicated us that they would go out there once per day on Hamburg Pike.
I haven't seen it.
But another, it probably wasn't near as bad, but with as much rock as they're moving with these bridges projects, I mean, they're almost 7 days a week, and I think like Dennis said, at night, you can't even, if you're not familiar with Hamburg Pike, you don't even know where the division line is.
Right.
So
Okay.
they need to aggressively, morning, evening, I'm not sure, they need to power wash, not with their machine.
And wash it off.
Yeah, because it's worse because the asphalt's really new looking, but they're moving so much rock because of
They
these
are.
bridges. And matter of fact, if you look all around Jeff, you can find out where the trucks are going.
Yeah. I'll give them a call first thing in the morning.
Getting back to the sidewalk master plan,
Yes, sir.
are we able to do any more before the end of the year? I mean, are you on target?
Of the low-hanging fruit that we've looked at, and the reason we picked those is because there really weren't any right-of-way issues. We weren't going to have to tackle anything like that. There were no drainage issues that we were going to have to get into. Of those, that's the ones that you've seen. That's the ones we've completed, short of Howard. So if you're looking to move forward with some more, we can definitely make some selections and give some suggestions. There's going to be a little more work and probably a little more expense involved in the project.
Speaking for me, but I would like to spend the money that we've allocated or try to lock it up if at all possible.
Okay.
And not let it revert back.
Okay. By the end of the year?
If we can.
That
yeah,
may
if
be
we can.
difficult.
Again, that's just me, but I think anytime.
Depends on your weather.
Anytime we can plow it back into our infrastructure, I mean, it looks great, and I'm sure the people love it, so.
Yeah.
But before you go ahead and spend it, send a notice to all the other department heads that you completed your stuff under budget.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Andy, I have a question. I know when we put this master plan together, there was also a idea of a partnership with redevelopment. Did they ever put anything together to do sidewalks, or they never did?
They
any
have
sidewalks?
not.
Okay. And then also on the master plan, do you have plans for what you want to do next year? Because I see in our edit budget, we also have sidewalks as an item. Are we gonna-
I don't at this time. I mean, if that's what you're asking for, we'll come up with, I think what we did last time was I asked the council for a dollar amount, and we came up with a certain number of projects, and that happened to be all the low-hanging fruit. If you want to spend the rest of the $100,000 that's left in the budget that you gave me, if you want to put another 100 with it, let me know, and we'll try to find something that fits.
I mean, I would still like if we could, I mean, if redevelopment would consider doing something, that'd be great, because I think that, a lot of these projects are within the TIF districts. So,
Right.
and they have revenue that they could contribute towards it. So if you could ask somebody in redevelopment, that'd be great. And then the other one, my personal opinion is we need to continue to move forward with improving the sidewalks here. And I guess we'd look for you, at least I would look for you for advice on which ones we can go for.
Okay.
I mean, I know we may have knocked out the lowest hanging fruit, but maybe
Right.
go for the next
We'll go for the next tier.
level up.
Absolutely.
One thing too is the UEZ, I think Andy and them have came to the UEZ for some money to do some sidewalk work on Wall Street in the 200 block and on Riverside and Pearl. So we haven't approved it, so I don't know about redevelopment, but the UEZ has been requested to pay for some of that sidewalk repair as a venture.
Thanks, Andy.
Anything else? I did have one other thing. I noticed some hoodlums today defacing public property out in front of City Hall. It's kind of hard to see. I didn't want to get too close because they look kind of dangerous, but if you see anybody that resembles that guy,
Anybody in this
I
room?
stay away.
That's what I was thinking, that's why.
He looks a little dangerous. Thank you.
Should have a safety vest on, just saying.
Thanks, Andy.
Thank you.
I told Matt Dyer he did not need to be here this evening, so we're going to move on to Officer Oliver.
How y'all this evening?
I don't
Good.
even know what to call you.
Chief Grimm, he would have been here, however, he had a family medical, he had a mother-in-law at a medical procedure today, so he couldn't make it tonight. So I'm here just speaking on his behalf in the police department. First thing we're going to do is, I think you all may have gotten that piece of paper, this here, the three little requests that we're making. And the first request is $10,000 to be appropriated to our continuing education non-reverting fund. And the reason we're doing this here is we've got some training scheduled. I know we got 3 groups, or 4 groups, I think, going out in November. And we use that money, that continuing ed money, that non-reverting, to help offset the travel and the expense of that training. We've got 2 going to a defensive tactics class, which will make, it'll actually specialize them, and they'll be able to instruct us, and that will go towards law enforcement academy training for us when we get those 2 through. We have 4 dispatchers going out, and we've got 6 detectives going to a multiple victim homicide school. So we're just asking, I think there's about $29,000 possibly over in that non-reverting. We're asking for 10 of it to get us throughout the remainder of the year.
This is coming from your non-reverting fund?
Yes.
Okay. I have a question. Since it's coming from your non-reverting fund and it's your money, I really don't care. If it's coming out of the general fund, I was going to have issues with it. Could you do me a favor, or do us a favor? I know that police are required so much training per year, I believe. Is that correct?
Yes.
Could you please make us a list with the police officer's name, how much training they've had, how much they have left to get?
Okay.
And I would greatly
Our training
appreciate
officer,
that.
actually, Josh, keeps a total record of that, and he sends it all off to the academy, so we can make extra copies and
That would be
have it
great.
accessible to
If
you.
we could see that, that would be terrific.
The other thing, Scott, I know, I guess it was last month, might have been the chief came in and asked for $100,000 more in overtime.
Yes, that's been a couple, I guess it was last month, September, I think.
Are we way over budget on overtime than normal?
Well, I think we had 6 officers down at one time. I think we're down to about 3 now. Don't hold me to that number. But we had about 6 officers out with injuries and surgeries. We had dispatch. We lost one dispatcher. She left for another position. And then we had a second dispatcher who was out ill also and was on the FMLA. So it really got into our overtime budget. But we should have enough with that appropriate. We should have enough to get us throughout the year.
Because then you put your police officers on the dispatch,
Yes, we moved.
which costs
yes,
us a
we
lot
moved.
more money.
Yes, whenever they actually work the overtime, yes, that costs money. Now, we've got some that are working light duty dispatching on night shift, and it's cutting down that overtime budget on night shift.
Okay.
Josh, you might be able to answer this. When the guys go out for like that competition that they did a month ago, I don't even know when it was, I can't remember. Are we on overtime when those guys leave to do that?
I don't believe so. I think we looked at that, and the officers that their absence wouldn't create were the ones that went. It wasn't the entire team. It was just the ones that were benefited.
Well, that's something that, we need to pay attention to, and
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
assuming you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to keep a better record of where each overtime expenditure is going, whether it be shift shortages, dispatch, training, sick. We're trying to do a lot better job than that, I'll be honest with you. In the past, it was just...
That'd be great if we could get
I did have for clarification, Scott, or maybe Amy, because I kind of read this wrong. Are you asking for it to be appropriated out of a non-reverting or into non-reverting?
It's actually going from the non-reverting, right, Amy? Or is that...
They're asking for $10,000 extra cash in non-reverting appropriated, so and they do have that.
Okay.
Right.
So it's coming out of, I'm with you.
And what non-reverting fund is that, Amy? I know,
351.
What's the number?
351.
And they've got a balance of, it looks like 60 some odd thousand. I think. Maybe not.
That was like 20.
Maybe I was reading it wrong.
I thought it was 22.
I think I'm
$40,279.
looking at the wrong thing somehow.
I'd make a motion that we advertise for additional appropriation of $10,000 to come from the non-reverting fund.
Have a motion and a second to advertise for $10,000 to come out of the police non-reverting fund, 351. Any other questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Next.
Okay, the second thing here is, it's our understanding the Lloyd budget apparently has been passed for 2014, and I think there's $325,000 been approved in that budget for vehicles. Last year, Chief came to you about this time, and we were able to order 4 vehicles. Go ahead and order them now so they get in here by April or May, so we get them on the street. We were wanting to go ahead and place the order for all vehicles, and then when they come in, they'll be here in early spring. Like this year, we picked up 4 in April or May, and then in September, we just got the other 4 or 5 on the street that we ordered back.
When do you have to make payment on them?
When we
Not until they're in, when they come in for, whichever be April or May. We were just wanting to go ahead and order those and get them on the way.
Mr. Lewis, we talked about this earlier. Can we,
Well, I mean, because you can't approve appropriations for the next calendar year. Appropriations are only good for calendar year to calendar year. And the other issue is, even though we haven't approved, we haven't approved the budget yet, but even after we vote to approve it, the budget is not official until the DLGF issues a budget order. So they accept that. So I mean, that's the only problem I have when you're authorizing action for next year based upon a budget that's not been approved yet by the DLGF. But that's my only issue from a legal standpoint.
Yeah, like I said, it was done last year, half of them, and
And the problem is when the DLGF does budget reduction orders and circuit breakers, that's my problem. From a legal standpoint, authorizing an action in calendar year 2013 for a 2014 budget that's not been approved yet by the DLGF.
Well, Lloyd's not going to be affected by a circuit breaker. That's where these funds will come.
would that be something the State Board of Accounts would frown on?
I mean, technically, you're authorizing action for a 2014 budget and calendar year 2013, I think that is something to count upon.
Believe it or not.
So what's our, do we have what options do we have, or is that, do we,
First meeting in January? We could.
well,
Schedule you now.
We're not going to be, well,
Well, think, if the vehicles were ordered and it takes a lead time of
6 months.
6 months, and we got into,
I
Yeah.
don't see we're stopping them
We've never been for 6
from
months.
getting them or ordering them.
that's what I
I
mean.
mean, by the time the bill comes in and the cars come in, it's gonna be next year anyway.
Right.
you think it would be?
Well, that's what he said.
That's what-
That's what he said. He
Yeah,
said it
we
would
don't
be like
get,
May.
we don't get any billing until the vehicles are in.
So I don't even know if we have to take any action at all.
If you can, yeah, I mean, if you can certify that there's not going to be any expenses that are going to be incurred or paid out in 2013.
All you're really giving him is the authorization to order them, right?
Yeah, we just want to place an order. We're not want to spend any money until April or May when they would come in of 2014.
As long as you can certify that somehow they don't come in early, then we got to pay a bill.
Oh, trust me, they
won't be
won't
here.
come in early.
They won't be early.
Yeah, they won't
Believe
come
me.
in early. Well, I have another question or request.
Yes, ma'am.
I would like a list, and we used to do this, of all the police cars, the years they were purchased, and how many miles they have on them.
The current cars?
The cars that they have now.
Okay.
All right. Assistant Chief Slummer takes care of all that, and I'll get with him tomorrow morning, and he'll have them quick for you.
Okay. And he can just email them to me. He doesn't
Okay.
have to,
Okay.
not a big deal.
Regarding to your request, I think it's the intent of the council, and I know for me personally, to go ahead and keep doing like we are, to replenish the cars and make sure we have the equipment we need. So I don't think there's really any action we have to take. As long as it comes in next year, I think you're good to go.
Okay.
Well, Scott said we need to make mention that there is no cost.
We will not give you any money.
There's no way we can pay, there's no way we can pay for it in 2013. It'd have to come in 2014,
Well, yeah, there's no way we can pay for it in 2013.
as long as you know that.
Yep. Yeah, we're good with that.
Tell them they can't deliver before January 1st.
Yeah.
Sorry. go ahead.
Tell them they can't deliver before January 1st.
Even if they come with some great deal and save $10,000, we can't do it.
Well, I don't know, maybe we could do something.
Hey, Scott,
Sir.
I know that we're probably going to talk about a bad idea here, but we were under the impression that the cars that we retired this year were given away.
The cars that were
Retired this year. Out of the, one went to Utica, one went to,
I don't know, I've heard that also. You'd have to
well,
ask Casey Sullivan.
it kind of put, you know, that would be money that would go back in the fund that the cars were bought out of. Back into that non-reverting or into the general fund, but I'm assuming it would have went back into Lloyd. And who do we request? The Board of Public Works to tell us where those vehicles went?
I think Mr. Merkley talked about there's a process that it has to go through. I guess it's a state statute, maybe it was Scott.
State statute.
Yeah, and that it would be the Board of Works, and if they go through that process, then, because two of the cars were auctioned off, and they went to Ohio. One went to the coroner, one went to the town of Utica, and I think 6 of them went to the county police, and they put stickers on them, and they're driving them today.
You know, it's, I mean, I don't know how the council feels, but that's revenue that we just gave away, that we could use to purchase
At
these
least
police
a
cars.
light, one light maybe.
If you take
No, I'm
8 cars, at
teasing.
Well,
Yes,
they're-
I know.
$2,000 a piece, that's a half
I
a
know.
car.
Is there any way for us to stop that from happening? I mean, that by state statute,
By state statute, the Board of Public Works is allowed, depending upon the dollar amounts of the assets, the vehicles, and depending upon whether you're doing a public auction or transfer into a local, another governmental entity. Statute allows the authority for the Board of Public Works to do that. I mean, there's nothing that this council can't change the state law that allows them to do it, as long as they follow the procedure and the dollar amounts all add up. So,
You know, it makes it tough when the police and the fire come in and want Lloyd money, and then we're just giving vehicles away that we could be putting some
Well, it
revenue.
could go towards a couple computers.
Whatever.
It could go towards equipping or some, I mean, yeah, the money, we can use the money.
Sure we could.
They're needing a laptop.
Hey, Scott, could you get for me, and I'm in no hurry, but I know you'll pass it on in the morning. But on the car, we just basically, the last time, we just allowed the money, and it was up to the chief to kind of get the best price, whatever he did. We didn't say 8 cars or 4 cars. It was up to him. Here's your money. Buy. What I would like is the price, a turnkey price of a car. You know, by the time we buy the car, by the time we put the lights and everything, turnkey, what's it going to cost, total cost to get that car out the door? If the car costs $25,000 and we're going to spend another $5,000 in equipment and lights, whatever it may take. So basically, we're talking turnkey $30,000. I'd like to know that.
Okay.
Because
I did number 2.
Okay. So do we need a motion or anything, Scott, for this, no?
to allow them to,
I mean, I would feel comfortable to do a motion to authorize them to do it, contingent or subject to that no cost or expenses are going to be incurred in this calendar year 2013 for them to order cars for 2014. I just don't
So
think
moved.
Okay.
that. Second.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to make the motion to allow the police to go ahead and order the vehicles, knowing that there will be no cost or expense made until 2014. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
that's what we did last year. Okay.
Okay, my
You've got a
last,
whole list here, don't you?
well, you know,
You wrote us a list, we're giving
that
them
kind
a
of
list.
day. The third thing I got to talk to, in May of 2013, actually May 20th, 2013, Ann Langley, her job description was changed from administrative assistant, grade 2 pay, to administrative assistant 2. She went from administrative assistant 1 to administrative assistant 2, which is a grade 3 pay. Ms. Langley was not given the pay increase at that time, hoping it would be dealt with when the performance increases were distributed, in which performance increase lines were cut with the circuit breakers. Since May the 20th of 13, her duties have increased. She's done a lot. And she's got a list here of things that she does a lot for the Jeffersonville Police Department and the city of Jeffersonville. And what we're asking for, we're requesting that Ms. Langley's salary now be changed to, her present salary is $17.53 an hour, and we're asking it to go to $19.23 an hour. This is coming out of our 100 series budget that we still have here. It's no cost now. There will be an additional appropriation of $3,000 needed next year. The money this year, again, comes from the dispatcher that had left and the dispatcher that was out on FMLA. We had some money left over there, so we got enough money there. We'd also like her to be back paid to May, which comes to between $1,400 and $1,500 in back pay.
Okay, I have an issue with this, and it's nothing against Ms. Langley. When Chief Grimm came and spoke to us, we specifically asked, does this need a pay increase? And he said no twice, because we've got him on, we watched the video today. And so I'm having an issue, especially with the back pay, since he stated in that meeting that there would be no pay increase. Now, I understand about the performance increase lines were cut. We're not sure what's going to happen at the end of the year with that some of those could be reinstated. But I need to know what everybody else thinks.
Well, if we cut something for budget reduction because of circuit breakers or whatever, it's a cut. It's cut. I mean, we can't turn around and retro back something because we cut it because of was it circuit breakers you said we cut it for?
Yes.
I mean, it's a cut. We had to cut state, we had to cut our general, so to retro back now, we're just putting money back in that we cut. Does that make sense? Or am I
Yes.
seeing this wrong?
Well, also the issue is, what about all the other employees? Because every department was cut. So no one to this point, has gotten any pay increases.
I guess, Scott, I've reviewed the video of May 20th and the audio, and Mr. Grimm, our chief, didn't speak to us and said there'd be no pay increase, and it is what it is. He said that, so, and it is on record.
Okay, and that's all I have for you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Scott.
Ms. Deering?
What you have before you is the ordinance to adopt the budget for 2014. There have been several changes since it was passed on the first reading at the last meeting due to a special meeting that we had last week, so.
And there needs to be more.
Okay.
Under PUF. The PUF deputy clerk, that is the meeting that I had with Judge Pearson, you in your office, and he also came to the council meeting. And that's the one where he was going to hire the part-time person, maybe for 7 or something. We said that has to be out of the general fund, cannot be out of PUF.
Okay.
So it needs to be moved. The judge, there's another one in here for, let me look, pro temp judge. Judges cannot be paid out of PUF funds. Has to be out of his regular budget.
The first one that you said, I'm sorry, what line is that?
It's the PUF, it says PUF deputy clerk.
Oh, I see. Okay.
It's line 30, I don't know, how do you read these?
118.
118.
Oh, I'm sorry, 119.
118.
And then I'm moving down to 310.
Okay.
The pro temp judge, am I correct in that, Mr. Lewis, that judges cannot be paid out of PUF funds? So that needs to be moved under his regular budget. The interpreter of $1,500, that needs to be moved under the regular budget. I'm curious what the operational expenses are of $8,500, because if you go down to 365, there's another operational expenses for $5,000. Do we know what those are for?
I don't.
I say take.
Unless it's for PUF, and you and I have been through this, and that's all I can say about it, it needs to come out of the regular budget, and I think that one of those can probably be cut, and if he needs more, we can reappropriate. Do you all agree to that? Because we need to find out why there's 2 of them.
Right.
So I'd say let him keep the $8,500 and let's the $5,000,
Okay.
we'll just cut it. Subscription and dues, unless it's related to PUF funds, it has to come out of this regular budget. School education, and this needs to be put in only for the probation officers. And office equipment, I believe that was for a printer, or not print, copier, I'm sorry, I keep saying printer. I mean copier, and that needs to be moved to the other side as well.
Okay. The subscriptions and dues, the $2,600, you said it can stay, it just has to be used on probation, correct?
It needs to be moved, because I bet you it's for some of his legal
Okay.
stuff. It would have to be subscriptions solely due being used for probation.
Okay.
Could not be used for anything else. You want to read those back to me? So we can make sure we got them?
Line 118, $8,060.
Mhm.
Line 310, $1,000, both going to general funds.
Correct.
Subscription and dues,
The interpreter, too, line 311.
301. The operation expenses, 365 and 475 office equipment to general. Cut the 5,000, move the 3,000 to general.
Right, and then the 20, and then 355, the subscription and dues, yes. And then
Okay.
school education has to be used for the probation people. Okay, that's all I had about this. Did anybody else see anything?
I had a question, just to help me understand it. On the front page, where you've got all the rate, or the adopted budget, the adopted tax levy, down under like cum cap, where the levy is 510,000,
Right,
but we've got an adopted budget of 225.
correct.
Basically, the almost $300,000, we're just not appropriating. Is that correct? It'll still come in, we can appropriate it
Right,
late if we need to.
correct.
I have a question. When I look at, there's a breakdown of the budget on all these pages, and then at the end, I guess, it's, what's this page called? Is there like a, is that a,
That's the advertisement. That was
the advertisement? The, on the advertisement, there's redevelopment information. Oh, do we approve the redevelopment budget also? We don't?
Oh.
That's my question, because I saw it on there, on the advertisement, but I didn't see it anywhere in here.
I know we said we wanted to go back to the 2013 budget, but I just want you all to keep in mind whether we appropriate this next year, but I'm a strong advocate. We cut the, in the police equipment, I don't know how much that 110,000, but the police simulator, remember we had discussions, I know a couple of us went to the all-day training, and I know that, and then they had a demo, that I think that's something that's extremely important to the police department.
Did we ever get a price on that?
75,000.
I thought it was 7. Yeah.
Because I'm saying if, we probably need to look at their non-reverting funds and work on some of that, because I believe we could pay for a lot of that out of the non-reverting funds. Hmm?
74.5.
74.5?
And I mean, we could probably dig in here and find quite, some of that out of their non-reverting funds.
Well, I know after that, especially that all-day training that we had, I mean, it was extremely beneficial to the ones that came in off the street that don't have the opportunity to go to these special trainings, and just wanted to bring that up.
So I guess, Amy, this does reflect all the changes that we had made in our last meeting,
Yes,
because I'm sure we've missed something.
I think we got it all.
I guess I'll make a motion to pass 2013 as an OR 40 on the second and third reading, since this is the last meeting we'll have prior to the deadline.
With changes.
Yeah, with changes, yes.
Second.
I have a motion and second to pass 2013 OR 40 on second and third reading with the changes that needed to be made. Are there any other questions or comments?
Though you will change the front page, right, Amy, with
Yes.
these changes?
This is already what's in the gateway system to send to the DLGF. We'll make the changes and get it signed.
I'm sure with the circuit breakers and everything, local department of government finance, we're going to be making more changes anyway, so.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Off here.
More cut.
This is just the first go-around.
Yeah.
All right.
This-
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries. Thank you, Amy.
I'm going to pass this around for your all's signature, and I need for you to mark how you vote, nay, or abstain, and then sign.
Okay. Do you want me to wait till you get through that, or? The next one is Kim. Is Kim here?
Yep.
Oh, I didn't even see her come in. Miss Calabro? Oh, do you have something? Did I? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I'm on the wrong, I'm on the wrong
We're
one.
still in unfinished business.
I was
You're
on the
under
new business. I'm sorry. Sorry to disappoint you.
Kim was like, yeah.
We can get out of here. I'm sorry.
It'll only
I'm
be
sorry.
another hour, Kim.
Yeah.
It'll be quick, hopefully. What you have before you is a transfer request that was approved on the first reading at the last meeting.
Can you write it down?
Move we pass 2013 OR 41 on the second and third reading.
Second.
Have a motion and second to pass 2013 OR 41 on the, well, second, third reading, but I think we only need the third reading according to what I'm reading.
Oh, then third
All
reading.
in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Lewis. Sorry about that, Amy.
What's before you is ordinance number 2013-OR-42, and this was presented at the last meeting. It was tabled for tonight. I know there were like 3 members that were up at IAC last meeting. But anyway, it's an ordinance amending the current drainage board ordinance. We kind of discussed it with those members at the last meeting. The primary change or amendment to the drainage board ordinance would be that that the drainage board, instead of being assisting and advising the Board of Public Works, it would be assisting and advising the sanitary sewer board based upon prior ordinances where the sanitary sewer board was put in place after the drainage board ordinance went into effect. And also that the sanitary sewer board would be the contracting authority to actually to ratify and approve any contracts that are going to be recommended by the drainage board, just to kind of clarify the law about who is a contracting authority and who is not. So they're kind of really minor amendments to this particular ordinance, but from a legal standpoint, I do believe they're necessary for the proper operation of the drainage board. So,
Have a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 2013 OR 42
On the first.
on the, what are we doing, first reading?
yeah, it was tabled from the last.
First
it was
reading.
the First reading tonight.
Second.
Have a motion and a second to approve ordinance 2013 OR 42 on the first reading. Any questions or comments? All in favor signify by saying aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Mr. Lewis.
In the next item, it's not an ordinance because the current MS4 program and MS4 coordinator position is set forth in the job description for that position. Right now, that MS4 program and coordinator reports or works under the city engineer, and after talking with the city engineer and the MS4 program, really, when you look at the law, it seems like it would fit better under the sewer board, so this has been discussed before with the sewer board and the city engineer. So the proposal is to transfer that program and coordinator position in the job description under the sewer board. Now, I know this isn't an ordinance, and if the council, since if you want to kind of, it's kind of going along with kind of cleaning up some of the stuff with drainage and so forth, so if you want to kind of do it in companionship with the prior ordinance, when you approve that on the third reading, you can do so if that makes you feel comfortable to kind of do both of those together.
Okay.
But that's what we're talking about, just trying to clean up some drainage matters.
Yeah, I would like to hold off on that until we do the final and do it all
And
together.
it's kind of like a package deal, they're together. Okay.
Okay. All right, thank you, Mr. Lewis. Now, Ms. Calabro, new business.
We're not taking action on this?
Not until the third reading. Do what? Well, it says, who did I leave out now?
Dennis.
No, Dennis.
No, he just removed the first part. He still has the city pride request.
Oh, you want the city pride? Okay, sorry.
I do.
Sorry, Peggy, you're up.
I had asked Peggy to come up. I actually sat in a strategic planning meeting that they had. I think we're very lucky as a city to have city pride. And they were looking to do a project. Peggy can tell you about it. And I asked her to come tonight and present it. And I've talked the other day after our meeting on Columbus Day with, I think it was Pro Media.
Oh, yeah.
I asked a few council people if they would support this, so I asked Peggy to come.
Peggy Duffy, representing City Pride. First, I apologize for my attire, but this is progress on your
With him?
police station,
Oh.
so
Sure.
I hope you will pardon my rather unprofessional appearance. City Pride had a strategic planning session last week, and we have a number of projects right now, and we are trying to look at the city as a whole, what requests have been. One of the needs that we identified during that strategic planning session was we have done work downtown, obviously, including street furniture before all the new projects that are going on right now started. Obviously, we have the Big Four Station and the Chestnut Streetscape, et cetera, et cetera. We put some beautiful things in there. We have never concentrated anything on the west side of downtown. We've put benches, we've put trash cans on Spring Street, Riverside Drive. We have some over to Wall, some other locations. Obviously, those big projects will be doing a number of improvements west of Spring Street, but then there is a zone that's over near, in like the Mulberry area, where we haven't done anything in the past because there wasn't a need, but certainly we anticipate there will be a lot of use in that area. So one of the first things that we thought would be appropriate would be the purchase of 10 trash cans. I think it says on their benches, but we had talked about trash cans. 10 trash cans to be distributed throughout that part of downtown. If you look around right now, the trash cans that are downtown, some of which were purchased by us, some were purchased by Main Street, they're overflowing often, and that is no fault of the street department. The street department does a lovely job. We just don't have enough. And you put another, whatever ends up coming across the bridge, 8 billion people in downtown, there will be a little bit more trash. So I have a proposal from our trash can supplier, and keep in mind, we always talk about cost. The trash cans in downtown have to adhere to the historic preservation guidelines. Granted, Mulberry Street is not within the historic district. However, we don't need a whole lot of things that don't look like each other. So my proposal is for 10 of the trash cans that we have placed elsewhere, and with shipping, with liners, the trash cans, etc., $5,467, which is actually a lower price than we've gotten in the past.
My thought was to take that out of beautification. Looks like an appropriate project for there.
Peggy, what was that total price again?
$5,467.
We've got money in special projects, money in general promotion of the city.
Well,
I mean, it's kind of wherever you want to take it.
beautification.
Yeah, I was,
We've got a beautification line we could take it out of.
Okay. I mean, we've got several options, so.
I'll make the motion to approve the purchase of the trash cans for City Pride for, what was the amount, $5,467? $5,467
I will second
out
that.
of beautification.
I have a motion and a second to pay for the 10 trash cans for beautification out of the beautification fund in the amount of $5,467. Any other questions or comments?
That's $550 a trash can.
It's, the unit price is $405. We have liners, and then we have a lid, and then you have shipping.
Then we'll have them bolted down.
I would hope so.
Hey, anything you buy for public is going to be expensive.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Thank you all very much. We will have a report on our strategic planning session. We'll have it at our next meeting, which is next Tuesday at 9:30, and I will also distribute that to everyone so people can comment. If we identified most of the projects that we've seen or we've had feedback on. It's certainly, as is always, if you all see a need or if you see a project that you think would be appropriate, please never hesitate to contact one of us.
Peggy, thanks for all you do, and I've got a lot of compliments on your biker
I was
planners
just
you
gonna
have
say that.
throughout the...
Thank you. We're very excited, and you know what? We cannot thank the guys at Steel Dynamics enough because they did a fabulous job. And if you look closely, there was a little bit of concern when we first talked about those bikes because people said, oh, what about the rust? And these guys are professionals. There was sandblasting, there was welding, there was all those important things. So they turned out really nicely. I'm glad everybody likes them. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thanks.
Thank you. I'm afraid to say your name again, Kim.
Third time's a charm.
Third time's a charm. Think you're up.
I really don't have anything other than the ordinance in front of you. We talked last 2 weeks ago that under the engineering on page 5, we changed the title construction inspector engineer to construction inspector. That's the only change.
no pay changes, just typo
We went
changes.
through all that last time. We did
Just
make some changes. If you look at the
checking.
minutes from last month, it reflects some of those changes.
I just want you to say it again.
They went from exempt to non-exempt, same pay grade. They're now an hourly employee as opposed to a salaried employee. We took off the engineering degree requirement, and then we added the certification requirements. So we already have a person in that position. We just shifted when Derek Blair had left. He moved to Ohio, and we had originally hired that position. We needed somebody with an engineering background to go in and actually identify all the manholes and all those things throughout the city. Took him about 2 years to do all that. That's done, completed. He's moved on, and now Marion Shepherd's kind of filling that position in that role. And because of that, it doesn't require that engineering degree, nor does it require that level of professionalism for that degree and that certification. So we kind of downgraded it, but not officially downgraded it.
Make a motion to approve 2013 OR 43.
Second.
On what reading?
First.
First reading. I have a motion second to approve ordinance 2013 OR 43 on the first reading. Any other questions or comments? All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed, motion carries.
Do I was kind of confused on the MS4. Do I need to switch that position from drainage to somewhere else? Is that, you're still going to make that decision, right? 'Cause that'll
Yeah, we haven't made that decision yet.
Pardon me?
We have not made that
Okay, that's
decision.
what I thought. Okay. Is it? Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Deering, a resolution to initiate special appropriation.
What Heather and I have done is gone through all the 100 series, which are the salaries, and made sure there's enough to get us through the rest of the year. And we came up with a few that are going to be a little bit short. And also on this list are the increases because of the equity pay that was approved, and the police non-reverting that was approved earlier, as well as the beautification. I would like to amend to add those two items as well.
So like on that first line, it'd be 15,000 instead of 5,000?
That 1,500.
Am I on the wrong,
Yeah.
1,500, it's this one right here.
on the wrong page? Sorry.
I'm sure Shane would like that.
Oh,
So police, non-reverting, we said the 10, and what was the second one?
The last item that was out of the
1,467.
5,467 out of the beautification funds.
Well, okay. Wasn't that already, was there a balance in that fund?
There's a balance, but it would pretty much take what's left for the rest of the year, and I don't know if there's any other planned spending. It was 14,000 in cash, so it's there.
Okay, so, let's go through this one more time so I can write this on
Okay.
here. So what's it going to be for the police non-reverting?
Do you want the GL number, the appropriation number?
Yes.
It's 351-006.
Wait a minute, 351-006.
439
439
031.
031. And that's police non-reverting, correct?
Yes. For 10,000.
Okay.
And the second item is 268-000-429-011. That's beautification for 5,467.
What number? Congratulations.
7, that's what I was working on.
Motion approved 2013 R 67.
Second.
No, 30.
30. R 30.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve 2013 R30 with the changes for the police non-reverting 10,000 and for beautification 5,467. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Ms. Deering.
Last item is ordinance for additional appropriation. This was approved on the first reading at the last meeting. It's all stuff I think you guys have seen before. I'd be happy to ask any questions. There haven't been any changes made to it.
Hold on just a second if you don't mind.
Amy, the very top line,
Yes.
That's what I was,
Matt had a question.
no, Nathan.
It said they're asking for 5,000, but earlier they asked for 10,000. We gave them 10, so we delete this 5?
Okay.
So do they really want
That's a
15?
question, that's a question.
No, I think that it's probably with this,
I think it's additional.
I think it's an additional.
So they would need 15,000 to get to through the
But
end
this
of the
one was already done. This has
Yeah.
already been approved and advertised.
year. It's been advertised, it hasn't been approved.
Well, it's already been, it was approved to be advertised.
It hasn't been approved.
We're just seeing if they have the cash to support it.
I thought you said there was 40,000 in there earlier.
Takes 3 readings, right? What
Right.
ordinance number we on?
Ordinance number.
Looks like 40. I'm sorry. Looks like 44. 44.
44.
Has it been passed on the first?
There's
It
plenty.
hasn't
This
been
is new
passed on
business,
the-
right?
Oh, it's new business, gotcha.
Public hearing, the additionals.
Oh, do we? Before we make a motion, he has to do a public hearing?
Well, I want to see if we did it the last meeting, I don't remember.
They had already-
The public hearing.
No. I don't think we ever have.
What's it called?
Huh? Well, I'm
Yeah,
gonna,
2, right?
Down here too.
It's already been advertised.
I don't think we've ever done it for an
We
additional
haven't.
appropriation. I don't think we've ever had a public hearing for an additional appropriation.
We have.
We have? Well, I don't remember, well, I'm doing it.
We did, I don't think we did for his one, though. I mean,
No,
this is the
not
time
because
to do it
there was
now.
a resolution last time.
Right.
That was to do the advertising.
Right, nobody said
This
anything
was-
about
This was not
public
passed at
hearing
the
or
first
anything.
reading last time, I didn't see it in the minutes.
No, this is
It
new.
This is
passed
new.
The resolution to advertise was,
Okay,
Last of the last
resolution
meeting. I'm
for
sorry.
this additional appropriation advertised and be adopted at this meeting.
No, the resolution for this appropriation was at last meeting.
To add-
This is an ordinance
Right.
that,
Yeah,
for the first reading.
Yeah, so my question is, the resolution that was adopted at the last meeting, did it schedule tonight to be the
no,
adoption of the public hearing for this?
I don't believe that was the date. I think we used the next. He's
I don't
asking
know,
about the
I was just
advertising.
handed this.
It'll just be a first reading.
Just,
This
yeah,
is just the first reading, I'm
first
sorry.
reading.
First
It
reading.
is first reading.
Yeah.
Then does it have to be advertised for, as a public hearing?
Not, for just before you do the final adoption.
Okay, that's what I'm saying, so we need to get that in the newspaper. Okay,
Okay, so I'll
Misspoke, it was, this is the first reading.
Yeah.
okay.
make a motion, we pass 2013 OR 40 on the first reading.
44.
44.
I'm sorry, 44.
I'll second.
I have a motion and a second to pass ordinance 2013 OR 44 on the first reading. It's an addition, an ordinance of an additional appropriation. Any further questions? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. All opposed? Motion carries. Is there any public comment?
No, ma'am.
There's none? Okay, council comment, councilperson Smith?
I'll pass.
Councilperson Zestovnik? Councilperson Payne?
No comment.
Councilperson Gill?
I attended the IAC training, some of the other ones, and I attended a lot of the public safety workshops. That's why I'm trying to push for that simulator, training simulator. And, I mean, I meant to bring the book with me of all the different workshops, but what we kind of did, and I'll let Nathan and Dennis, we kind of split ourselves up and took what was kind of relevant for the city, and I would go to one, Dennis would go to one, and Nathan would go to one, and it was very informative, and we learned a lot.
Nathan just said he skipped all of his.
He what?
He just skipped all of his.
No, he did not. I know he was there.
Thank you for having my back.
You're welcome.
Councilperson Gill?
I've got a couple things. IAC was tremendous, it always is, and they do a great job with informing us on new trends. One thing that was in the paper a couple weeks ago about the White Reach project, that redevelopment is starting to negotiate with White Reach on the development. One thing that was mentioned in there was the prohibition of billboards was going to be removed, and I just think we all need to think about repercussions of that, because we've been pretty good about sticking to our guns on billboards in the downtown, and that could just create us a problem. I'm just mentioning that.
Make a comment about that?
Sure.
They don't have the authority or the power to do that. So it has to go to planning and zoning, or if after a business is already in operation, it goes to BZA. So even though I read that as well, and it piqued my interest, but I think either the news report was incorrect or the redevelopment, what's in there is incorrect because they don't have the power to do that.
Good.
So
That's good.
my fear is that if that's the understanding of the developer, he's going to come back and he's going to be very unhappy with redevelopment.
I would say, yeah.
That's what I have.
Yeah, no, that's great. Thank you.
That was removed. Rob Wage wanted that in the agreement. The commission decided to take it out. The one thing I did advise the commission, even by removing that provision, those billboards still have to be approved by planning and zoning and get the appropriate approval. So we have a sign ordinance that restricts those billboards. So
Okay.
just because it's not in it, we're going to get a billboard up. We turned them down previously with I-65 projects.
Yeah.
It was a split issue on the commission.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
initially it was in there, then they removed it at the last minute. So.
Good deal. Thanks. The other thing that I want to just touch on, tonight at Perrin Point, they had a neighborhood meeting, and the mayor presented a plan for Duffy's Landing. And one of the things that was said in the plan was that the plan was only going to cost $150,000. And I think the public needs to realize, I don't believe that includes any of our in-kind service that the city does. I don't see how they can do a project like that for $150,000. So, to me, as a business person, the in-kind services have dollar value too. Our employees, our equipment, our fuel, and so forth. A perfect example of that is Allison Brook Park. I think it was a $150,000 project. We've been working on that. Now, as far as writing checks to vendors, we probably haven't done anything more than maybe the architect or the engineer. But we've spent over $150,000 probably in-kind service that the city's doing.
Let me ask a question about that. Who's doing the work out there?
I would assume
Les,
it's
who's doing the work
constru-
out at Allison Park, Brook Park? He's gone.
I believe city crews.
Well,
It is city crews.
it's City Crews. This is my question, since that's a redevelopment project, and there's a different, and they have their own funding, and it's a different city, do they have to pay that back to the city? Just like the sewer board,
I know drainage has been out there.
so,
Should be billed.
okay. So we need to make sure that that billing is taking place, since it's people who do not work for redevelopment, that everyone's being reimbursed, so it's not coming out of our
I
funding.
know with all the demolition that was done downtown,
The sewer. I took them a while to get it.
Sewer drainage and parks.
Sewer drainage and park.
Yeah.
And, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt
No,
you.
you're fine.
But also because there's been a lot of overtime, I've heard there's been a lot of people working on the weekends, so we're talking overtime, so we really need to get that replaced.
Well, my only comment is, we have to count those dollars.
It's a little deceiving.
It's very deceiving, so.
And those dollars, it would be the same thing.
Sure.
In-kind services, if a different city department is doing something for redevelopment, that has to be paid.
Sure.
So it's not,
So who is following up on that? I'm curious.
I don't know who's doing the work. To me, if it was a construction,
Okay.
if it is a construction crew, if it's drainage,
Lisa, can you follow up on drainage?
Sure.
And then I'll follow up on, it'd be sewer.
Send them the bill to redevelop.
Yep.
Okay.
Personnel one.
Just a reminder that Monday is Trick or Treat downtown, so we'll be looking forward to that. Always have a big crowd down there. Hope to see everybody down on Spring Street. That's it.
I have a couple things, if I can get the mouse.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Now, wait a minute, we didn't have a presentation now. You have to get on the agenda, sir.
Let's see if I can do it quick.
You scroll down inside.
Okay.
Where you can click the little page through the arrows and copy.
No, I can't see that far.
You wanna sit in my seat?
Okay,
Got a sidebar.
that's all right, I can wait.
No, because we're not hiring.
President Dan had to get permission.
Today, as City Engineer Crouch mentioned, that we, some of us started painting, priming the utility boxes. That's one of the utility boxes right there on the corner. We primed 6 of them today, starting downtown on Spring and, I guess it's Market. Then we moved up to Court, and then we moved to this one on 10th. Then we did the one here in front of City Hall, and we did the one at Penn, which is over by, just right here at the red light. We're going to do the rest of them hopefully tomorrow. And then on Friday, our artists are going to start. We're going to try to have them all doing it at the same time, everybody on their own box. We are connecting with the police department to make sure they understand it's okay for people to be painting the boxes. And I just thought I would show everybody this is what's going to be on the corner of 10th and Spring. If you see in the bottom left corner, it'll be really colorful, but that's going to be there. Let me see if I can go to the next. That was the one down on the corner of Market by the cigar shop.
Oh, that is neat. I like that.
It's got the hot air balloon from tourism and the boat. That's a quilt, and that's going to be at the one there at Water Park. We thought since there's a lot of older people there,
Get them a quilt.
we thought that would be appropriate. I mean, the artist painted these, and we had to select where to put them. So that was our thought process. That's going to be there at the corner of the old Bales Motor used car lot.
That might be more appropriate for City
Hang
Hall.
on, there we go, okay. That's going to be on the one at City Hall. This is like an aquarium, that's going to be at Penn. That's it's Sunnyside, that's going to be in front of White Castle. Eggs, yeah. That's going to be by Moby Dick, it's just kind of a forest scene. That's actually an aerial view of kind of like the Big Four, part of the Big Four. Oh, I think that's what the artist said. So that's going to go at North Haven. That's supposed to be like Red Hot's melting. So we'll see, and that's going to be at the corner of 10th and Allison. And this is what Hearts and Stripes, I think, is the name of it. That's going to be at Vissing Park. So these should be started this Friday, Saturday, and it ought to be a really neat event. On Saturday between 10 and 2, Paul Northam, I think he left, he's agreed to have the trolley kind of running around. If people want to hop on the trolley, they're able to. I think it's going to start here, City Hall, and they're just going to drive you around to see them all. And so I thought that was a nice touch that Paul was going to do. So that's all that I wanted to announce about that. So a week from today, hopefully it'll be really, really exciting. I did want you folks to know that I reached out to John Schnatter, Papa John. It seems like since we're doing quite a bit of, or trying to get our art on in the city, since Jeffersonville is the home place for Papa John's, it would be really neat to be able to have something like maybe a big slice of pizza coming out of the ground. Something just really unique that could be tied to Papa John's. I reached out to him, and he's agreeable to allowing us to do that. We still have to work out some funding. My intent is to see if he will fund the project. I don't know if we would incorporate it somewhere down in the Big Four landing somewhere. As everybody's coming down, that may be a neat thing. It may not be. But the reality is that we're communicating with him, and he's open to that. And I'm trying to build a relationship there. And I was glad to hear back from him. So I think that's a positive thing. And the last thing that I wanted to mention is we have a guest here that I met earlier tonight, maybe many of you, he's a U of L student, Siddiqui Malik, is that right? So we're glad to have you here with us, and I appreciate you spending some time and checking out politics in Southern Indiana. And that's all I
Well, Nathan,
have.
while you're talking about arts, did you discuss the Steamboat Day like I asked you?
Yes,
Y'all are
and
in?
we're on board with
Good deal.
with that.
Thank you.
That's all I had.
The only thing I have is, I think that we all got an email, I think, from Senator Grooms about the drainage, not the drainage, I'm sorry, flood control. And I asked him if anyone had checked into any funding, and if I would be stepping over my bounds to contact River Hills Economic Development, to check, to ask them if there was anything available from either the Corps or from IDEM or any of those groups. So I called, and I asked if the flood control, anyone in flood control contacted them to try to get any funding whatsoever, and she said no. So she is going to be looking into that for us, Ms. Saygesser, and seeing if there's anything that she can pull, just so you know,
We're talking about for the pumps.
for the funds. Yes. Anyway, so that's all I have.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Do what?
Yep.
You all, yeah? Why?
What?
What is?
Well, there's just an email that Amy showed, that apparently did you just get that from the DLGF today? Well, apparently there's been a change on the salary ordinances for next year also have to be approved by November 1st, in addition to the budget. So in the past, we've always done those in December. Apparently, it's got to be, the salary ordinance for 2014 has to also be approved by November 1st for second and third class.
So I rescind my motion to adjourn.
She just showed the email. She was showing the press.
Yours is the second. Do you make, or?
No,
No,
mine was the second.
Okay.
I rescind the second.
All right, we have a motion and second to rescind, to reconvene. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the substance of it.
As far as I know, except this one needs to be changed.
Yeah, I'm talking about the substance.
As far as I, well,
Okay, somebody tell us. What are we supposed to do? Amy, what are we doing?
You have to call a workshop or special meeting?
We have to have a salary ordinance approved.
Special meeting.
Right. Do we need to
Aye.
have somebody,
We're waiting.
We're going to have to set up a special meeting to take a look at that, or?
Hey, you want to do that? Be a different day?
We have to get it done, there's a deadline.
By November 1st, yeah.
have a
I'd rather
special
do it
meeting?
tonight, if we can get it done tonight,
You got a week from Thursday.
so we do not have to reconvene.
I think all you need to do, tonight you adopted an amended ordinance for 2013, salary ordinance that reflects the current salary situation for all employees.
Did we move it?
I think all you need to do
Come back to
is
that.
adopt that ordinance as the salary ordinance for
No.
2014.
Next week.
I think
it ought to-
I mean, I'm not an attorney, but I think it ought
Which means we need to move it.
That's what we're saying, yeah. I mean, I think you do.
It would be 2014 OR.
You started a new
whatever the
number.
next
You started a new number.
2013 OR, whatever the next number is.
Yeah.
Whatever the next ordinance number is.
Well, the ordinance, that any references for the new number is the same substance of what you put tonight, but it's for 2014, so we have to.
That's the same thing we've got.
Can we do it?
I mean, anything that
We
says
meet
like
next
full
week,
calendar
Parks.
Well, we need to talk about that too, because we're not going to meet while they're out down on Spring Street.
We're meeting on Tuesday.
Right.
It's
And
it's
have
already
that
been,
changed
it's
down.
already been, noted, advertised,
About
and
the parks.
about the, yeah, the park.
So I mean, the other option is if you want to wait till they get on the computer, I mean, you can do it verbally and say we're going to make these changes referencing in 2014, or you can recess, reconvene at another date, so that you don't have to advertise a special meeting. Councils and boards can recess and reconvene. That's common.
Is that Parks meeting on Tuesday at 7?
It's at 7, yeah.
So can I motion to recess until Tuesday, the 29th at 6:45?
Well, We've got, some of us are going to be attending, I believe, the BZA meeting too.
Oh, that's right.
7.
That's right, we can't.
So we scheduled the Parks meeting for
I'm gonna
the,
say recess until after the Park Authority meeting? What time is it, BZA meeting?
7.
We can't do Monday because of the holiday, so. Yeah, some people want to go to that.
Real quick, I'll make the changes.
Okay, let's take a 10-minute recess.
You don't know what that
I'm recommitting the council meeting. I've never done this before, so I hope I'm doing it right.
You are.
I'm doing it right? And
No,
what time will
you
we
gotta-
be convening, like 9:50?
You gotta do the pledge.
Yeah.
yes, and
All right,
that's
Scott, what are we reconvening?
we need it.
Pledge and
Clerk
pledge.
has the ordinance, so.
Who has, the clerk has the
Yes.
ordinance? Do we have to suspend the rules?
You're gonna have to suspend the rules to pass on all 3 readings.
So I make a motion to suspend the rules? No?
Yeah, first you need to sign it, you gotta sign it and number and read it, just the title, for the record.
Ordinance number 2013 will be OR 45, an ordinance fixing the salary of appointed officers and employees for all the departments of the city of Jeff, Clark County, Indiana, for the year 2014.
So now I make a motion to suspend the rules, anticipation of passing 213 OR 35.
45.
45, sorry.
That's okay. On all 3 readings.
On all 3 readings.
No, 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 no.
Second. I have a motion and a second to suspend the rules in anticipation of passing ordinance 2013 OR 45 on all 3 readings. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, now again.
Brian would have voted no.
Go ahead, Lisa. You did it so well the first time.
On all 3 readings.
Oh, I make a motion to pass 2000 OR 45 on all 3 readings.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to pass ordinance 2013 OR 45, fixing the salaries for 2014.
Discussion?
Discussion?
If,
Go ahead.
well, I mean, it's kind of unusual not to be able to see these documents, but I trust that they're going to be correct. But if they're not correct or there's errors, we will have the opportunity to amend them.
Oh,
Correct.
yeah. You just have
So
to
just
pass it.
want to let everyone know, if there's something in there that we do want to change or we do want to amend, we can do that.
Yes, and we are doing this because the DLGF is requiring it.
Clarify.
By November
The
1st.
actual portion on salaries is technical original.
Thank you, Regent.
Okay.
Right, for the record.
I just tried.
I know, and what we're gonna do,
24,
I'm getting a new sheet tomorrow for that.
Well, I was thinking about reducing some.
What he did on it.
Okay,
We can do that later.
we can do that. Okay, so I have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Can we now adjourn?
Yes, but before you leave, please sign.
Okay.
We need to change the date for the Parks.
Oh, yeah, we've got to make a motion to change the Parks Authority meeting.
Make a motion, we change the Parks Authority meeting to right before our next city council meeting on November 4th, so that'd be 6 o'clock, I believe, Monday, November 4th.
Have a second? Have a motion and a second to change our Parks Authority meeting to November 4th at 6 o'clock before the next city council meeting. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
And our attorney will,
So you're not having the meeting come up Tuesday night?
No.
No, because we've got to be at the...
That's okay, I just want to make sure so I can take it off the website.
Yes, you can take it off.
Okay.
Yep, and our attorney will advertise
I want
it.
to put it on there.
Scott, you'll advertise,
I will.
correct?
So, and I'll tell Candy.
motion and second.
Aye. Opposed?